Hi, I'm Carrie with EDGEucating, keeping you on the cutting edge of education. Now, what does that mean, keeping you on the cutting edge? Well, for every single person in the education game, that's something a little bit different. So the variety of things that we do here at EDGEucating really covers ideas and strategies. But today, what I want to talk to you about are some products. There are some products that are going to make sure that you are on the cutting edge of robotics and STEM. But right now, we're at the point in the school year where your administrators are looking to spend their regular budget. They've already bought workbooks probably. They've already bought the subscriptions to the different websites and that sort of thing that you're going to use next year. But right now, what she's trying to decide is, I've got this little pot of money. It's maybe $1,000, maybe $2 at the most, maybe even as low as just a couple of hundred, but I don't want to waste that money. If her school is the same as my school was, at the end of the school year, if I didn't spend it, I lost it. There was no such thing as money carrying over to the next school year. So I liked to spend every single penny that I had to make sure that I used every single bit of my budget. So what I'm going to share with you today are 5 products to close out that budget. 5 things that are quality products that you can buy for individual teachers or grade levels to make sure that we're just spending all that money in a quality way and it's not being wasted. Each one of these products are products that I have used myself, I've bought for my teachers, I've put my hands on it, and I have made sure that it is a product that does what it says. It meets the criteria that we have set forth to be a quality product, and I think it would be very useful for you. So if you like our videos here at EDGEucating, please make sure you like them, share those videos, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell to make sure you get notifications when we upload new videos. So let's learn about the 5 products that I suggest to close out that school budget. So the first product I want to share with you is a really simple thing that really went a long way for my teachers. This product is called Anywhere by Quartet, and this product is a disposable dry erase sheets. So it sort of looks like a roll of aluminum foil. You pull it out, it's perforated on the edge. You can rip a sheet off and give it to your students to use at their desk to do group work or to create a presentation. And then they can take that same paper, that same plastic that they've been working on and use it for a presentation. I have it stuck right up here on the wall. So they could do their project, and when they are prepared to do their presentation, they literally just stick it up on the wall. It sticks by static. There's no stickiness, there's no stickers, there's nothing to hold it up there except the static of it sticking on the wall. You can write with a dry erase marker, erase it. It's a really great product, and I bought it for my teachers at the end of the year last year. I worked in a school that had walls that were more than 90 years old, and our maintenance department absolutely hated any kind of tape or sticky things being put on the wall because it would damage the wall. Well, this was a perfect alternative to be able to have our kids have those anchor charts or display their work without having any effect on the walls at all. I went around my building and I tried to see if it could, what kind of surfaces it would stick to. It stuck to the wooden doors, it stuck to the cinder block walls, it sticks to regular sheetrock walls. It was a very versatile thing. Now, it doesn't stick forever. You know, maybe after an hour or two, the static dissipates and it doesn't stick anymore. So it's not a permanent thing, but great for those group projects and to have something to display without damaging your walls. It's a great product. So another great product I'd like to share with you is called EDGEpert. Now, This product is an educational resource. It is, but it really is something that is more for playing those games. Those interactive games that you would have competitions in your classroom and the kids need to buzz in when they get the right answer. You're doing a vocabulary review and the kids who know it get to buzz in. Well, I always had an issue in my classroom that the kids would buzz in and I would think, oh, this one was first or that one was second. I didn't know which one. This one takes all of that guesswork out of those competitions. So EDGEucating is an apparatus that has different eggs that the kids would use to buzz in, and it would keep track of which person buzzed in first. There is no question about it. We know exactly who it was that buzzed in when I asked that question. So all of that, no, it was me, I got it first, that is eliminated. It also has a setting where it's called quiz setting, where I could ask a question and then it is going to randomly decide on a group to answer that question. So there's lots of different ways that you could apply this, this great product in your classroom. It's a great way to make sure that you've got fun ways to make sure that the games that you're doing are fair in the eyes of the kids as much as possible, and still have fun doing those review games and those competitions. EDGEucating comes in wired settings. They also have another product that has wireless settings. So it's a different product. It's a little more expensive, but all of these are very affordable, and I used it in my classroom and it was great. So this next product is something I really started searching for about 10 years ago. So I started purchasing things like iPads about 10 years ago when I saw that we were going to be able to afford them. And one of the major issues that I had with buying an iPad was my focus was going to be using them with kindergarten, first and second grade. That's where we were starting with iPads. We felt that the kids had access to things like this. They were used to scrolling, using phones and that sort of thing. So we were going to use iPads in these classrooms. And when I called Apple, their service desk, and asked what was it that we could use to clean these products, they really didn't have good suggestions for me. You're like, yeah, just wipe it off with a dry cloth. Okay, well, that is wonderful to get dust off, and that's what an adult would need, but little kids are really gross, you know, and these things are going to be used by several kids, one after the other. When we went to the horrible pandemic and we had COVID and we had to sanitize everything, this sort of came to the forefront, and I knew a lot of people who bought those blue lights that would sanitize their electronics. Well, sanitizing and cleaning are two different things. We need to be able to make sure that there are no germs, sanitizing, but also all of our electronics need to be cleaned. We can't have things on those touchscreen surfaces if the product is going to work correctly. So we actually have to clean that stuff off of the product. And I'm laughing because I'm thinking about kindergartners, and I always described my kindergartners as being a little boogery. And what I mean by that is literally they're boogery. They get more than just dirt on iPads and all of these electronics. So how are we going to clean that off without ruining the product itself? So I found a product called iCloth. iCloth is a wonderful product because it does that exact thing. It cleans the electronics without ruining the electronics. So iCloth comes in different sizes. You can have a large sheet for those things like active panels where you're cleaning the whole of one big thing, or maybe you've got one person doing one big job, like they're going to clean all of the iPads for the entire class and that sort of thing. But it also comes in little sheets that you can give to an individual to be able to clean just their iPad and or their Chromebook or their keyboard or whatever it is that's an electronic device, so that it can be not only sanitized, which it does, but also clean. When you're getting your iPads, Chromebooks, laptops, and that sort of thing at the end of the school year, and you're going to put them away, we really need to make sure that they have been cleaned so that they will be well maintained in storage. So there's lots of different things about those electronic devices that you really didn't think about when you were first purchasing them, but we really need to consider so that we make sure that we are maintaining them in the best way possible. And iCloth is one way to really do that. When we are looking at spending our money wisely, part of what we need to really think about is maintaining all of those electronics that we purchase with those CARES funds and ESSER funds. Maintaining the quality of the product is going to make them last a whole lot longer. And so purchasing things like iCloths to make sure that we have the best experience possible with our electronics really will prolong their life and make them something that is more useful, more cost effective in the future. iCloth, great, great, great product. So I really want to share something that was really simple, very, very cost effective, something that was useful to any teacher, any grade level, anywhere. And so I chose these plastic sleeves. Now, it's just a simple plastic sleeve that you could put worksheets in. But the great thing about these plastic sleeves and the way that I've seen them used most often is in small groups. So the teacher is able to make just a very few number of copies, put the copy of that worksheet or that project description into this sleeve, and then the kids are able to work with her in that small group. But instead of writing on the sheet itself, they use a dry erase or wet erase marker to write on the plastic. And so the teacher is able to see what their answers are. They're able to assess them as they are working on whatever the assignment is. But they don't have to make copies for everybody in the building. I know that one of the issues that I had on a regular basis was copy numbers. And teachers would say, well, I have to be able to do this activity and they have to be able to write on the sheet. Well, this was one great way to combat the issue of low copy numbers. The teachers just take those sheets, put them in the plastic, and then instead of class of 27, they make 5 copies and they're able to use them for every single kid. And you just wipe it off at the end of that group and move on to the next group. The teachers would do double-sided. You could put 2 different sheets in the same sleeve and do front and back. It was really a very versatile thing that, this is one that's been used over and over so many times, but it's still in great condition. We're going to make sure that we have all of the links to all of our products in the description of this video. But simple things that are going to make life easier for you and ultimately save you money in the end is really the kind of product that I really like. Now, the final thing I want to talk to you about is flexible seating. Now, I don't have a product to show you for flexible seating because that could just mean so many different things. I just want to give you some suggestions about different things that you could use in classrooms and that you could buy for any classroom and the different benefits that come with it. So there are some simple things like those rubber bands that you put at the base of a desk for the kids to bounce their feet on. Is this flexible seating? It's flexibility of their seating. So they're going to be seated in a regular chair, but they're going to be able to have that interactive movement that does not disturb anyone else. Something else are those Wobbly Stools. Now, I don't want to use a specific name brand because I think all of them are pretty good, but it's the Wobbly Stools that the kids can sit on that give them the movement, give them the illusion of moving around, but yet they're staying in their seats. This is great for kids who have ADHD that need that extra movement, but you don't want them walking around their room. So if they're in these seats, it keeps them moving, yet they're staying in their spots. We also had some products that I really enjoyed, which were inflatable cushions that you would put on the seats that had little nubs on them for texture and movement. So again, the child is going to be in their own chair, but they're going to be able to have that movement, different textures, different feelings. This is good for kids also with ADHD, but autistic kids that might like to feel more different textures, or they just like to be able to have different experiences while they're sitting, yet they can still pay attention. These little things that help with movement and texture might seem like a distraction to the average person, but to someone who, a student who really needs that, like ADHD students, autistic students, some kids who are just a little fidgety, it helps them focus on the task at hand if they can have that little bit of movement. Now, these items are simple things that most every classroom could benefit from. You could buy 1 or 2 for each classroom. You don't have to have 27 like they have for the students in the classroom. Or as a principal, you could buy maybe several, maybe 1 for each grade level, sort of a thing, so they could try it out and see what they like and then order more in the future. But different ways to have flexible seating options that aren't bean bags or couches could be as simple as those Wobbly Stools, cushions that have texture to them for their seats, or those rubber bands, things that you can have different textures and different movement while still being at your own desk. It's a great way to spend that money and try out different things without really making big purchases. This way everybody can have a better idea of what those products are, and if you had money in the future, you'd be able to buy those too. So I hope these ideas, even if you're not going to buy these particular products, just sort of give you an idea, a spark of some thoughts on how to better spend that last bit of money before the end of the school year, because we don't want you to lose not a single penny to indecision or no ideas. We here at EDGEucating are always trying to come up with something new and interesting for you. Please make sure you like, subscribe, share these videos, and don't forget to hit the bell so that you get notifications. Thank you so much. I hope you spend your money wisely, and we'll see you next time.